Hi, everyone. I am your host, Cindy. Welcome to my next episode. This is closing out the last episode to my series, and this series is focusing on finances and relationships before marriage and how it could really be an excellent way to help couples navigate money matters and build a strong foundation. So, my last episode is called Building a Foundation for Forever, and we'll be talking all about budgeting for your big day. Yep, your wedding day, saving for those major milestones, yep, like buying a home, and setting long term financial goals together. So let's dive in. So, picture this, you're scrolling through Instagram, and this happens a lot. And you just come across someone's post and it has this picture perfect wedding with fireworks, a live orchestra, or a band, or whatever the case is, and maybe even a unicorn or two. Okay. Meanwhile, you and your partner are crunching numbers just to figure out if you can afford a DJ or an open bar. And I've seen it. Trust me, I'm sure it sounds familiar. I've seen it all the time. And I think, oh my gosh, how can they afford that? Oh, wow, like that's what I want, but I know it's going to be expensive. So, planning a financial strategy isn't always glamorous, but it's the secret to enjoying your milestones without unnecessary stress. So, let's talk about it. Let's dive in. We're talking about budgeting for the big day, which is your wedding day. I'm going to give you some helpful tips for setting a realistic wedding budget. Okay, so this is super important. If you are down that path to wedding bliss, I need you to get out your pen and paper because this is my last episode to this series. And next series is going to be huge. So you want to stay tuned. What's going to help you to get to that big day? Well, number one, start with a must have list versus a nice to have extra. Do you really need a buffet? Or do you really need servers to serve your food on your wedding day? Or do you want a buffet where people can get up and get their own food? Those are the extras. Those are the nice to haves versus the must haves. Now, I want you to research costs. It's so important to do your research, get creative, save some money while still creating those meaningful memories. And also, you and your partner need to really set some expectations and agree on some priorities together. So, start with open communication, define what your shared goals are, like career growth, personal milestones. Is it to pay off your debt? Clarify some roles and responsibilities as well, like who's going to take charge of specific tasks or decisions. Prioritize together, rank your goals based on urgency and importance. Set some realistic expectations, like be very clear about what each person can contribute to. Also, create a plan, develop a roadmap with timelines and milestones for achieving each priority and milestone. Check in with each other periodically, review your progress, address any challenges or concerns. Now, let's talk about purchasing a home. Maybe you want to plan a family. These are major milestones that require saving. So, we need to find balance between short term savings and long term savings. Break the milestones into achievable goals. For example, maybe you want to pay down a home, then or have a down payment for a home. So down payment, let's just say $25,000. Well, have little mini milestone goals that will help you to achieve that. Also, open a joint savings account specifically for shared goals. So, work together to track what goes in and out of your savings account. Identify opportunities to save together as well, like maybe meal prepping or cutting down on subscription cost. Also, consolidate expenses like streaming services. Like if you both have a Netflix, maybe just have one gym membership or even canceling your gym membership for the time being. Dedicate your weekends on spending only on essentials. Maybe dedicate the whole month. Maybe dedicate one day a month. I don't know. Just try to dedicate a certain amount of days on spending only on essentials and nothing else. I want you to also shop smart together. Take advantage of sales, use coupons, buy in bulk. Me and my boyfriend, we live together and honestly, We go to Albertsons, we find the deals, we clip those deals in the app, and we have saved like at least 60 to $80 every single week that we go to the grocery store because we're shopping smart and we only buy necessities and we buy the same thing every week. And occasionally we'll splurge, but it's very rare because we have goals. Also, do it yourself home projects. Tackle some home improvement or creative projects together. Don't spend money on a handyman. Maybe try to figure it out on your own. That's where YouTube comes in. So, let's talk about setting up joint long term financial goals. I think aligning on a shared vision for your future is really important. Openly discuss retirement plans, travel aspirations. Do you both want to travel together? Where do you want your honeymoon to be? What if one wants to start a business? What can the other do to support? Also, learn how to track progress together. Use budgeting apps. Every dollar is a budgeting app that I personally use. I absolutely love it. You can also do old school and create some spreadsheets. I also have some spreadsheet templates that can be used. But I want to highlight why this is all so important to be on the same page. Why is all of this so important is because it's going to help to reduce financial stress. It's really going to help to build that strength and trust and that bond together. And that is so important. When you're going to get married, you want to make sure you're on the same page together. And it's not even necessarily your wedding day, it could just be that you want to spend the rest of your life together, maybe not be married, but living together, it's the same thing. It's the same concept. You need to save, work together, communicate together. So, budgeting, saving, and setting long term financial goals are the cornerstone of building a successful partnership. So, like I said, you don't have to be wedding, but by planning together for those that do want to get married, you're not just preparing for a wedding, you are creating a life that you'll both cherish. So, remember, every small step that you take today will bring you closer to that forever that you're dreaming of. Your journey starts now, your journey starts here. Start with setting up some goals together. Start by saving for those major milestones. Start with budgeting, cutting back, create that must have list versus that nice to have list for your wedding day or even your future in general. So, follow me on Instagram for more tips and updates. Don't miss out on my next episodes. I have a huge next series coming up. And subscribe to my YouTube or Apple Music or Spotify channel so that you don't miss out on any of my next episodes. So until then, and take care.